Outer Orange.
Guys, the leaves are falling, the weather's getting colder, and BCS is about to start. Today I'm going to be going over basically with you guys potential decks to take to consider what's going to be topping, how the meta's performing, all that wonderful stuff, my opinion about how I feel about the current states and what we're going to be going into and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Drink water is good for you. Oh, I just spilled a little bit, but drink it is good for you. And we are here with the tier list. We got 5,000 billion decks in here. Probably going to clean it up here at some point. But before I do all of that, I'm going to first let you guys know what we're looking at in terms of tier list wise. I'm getting kind of tired of saying like, oh, this is the tier 1 deck, oh, this is the tier 2 deck, and so on and so forth. I think this sometimes makes a little bit more sense because like there's just so many things that people don't contribute when it comes to like tournaments results. There's more than just like the deck. There's also the player, there's also the aspect of the brackets, there's the day, luck. There's so many things involved in just like topping with a deck. Hey, hello little Gucci. Hello little man. He's gonna be here for hours if I let him. This isn't healthy. Because there's so many factors on what can top, I'm just basically gonna give you guys like what I think will probably top, like you'll probably see the most of, which is the will top category. It's the decks you'll probably likely see in rounds, on top of the fact that it might win an entire event or it'll perform extremely well. The can top category is basically the decks that are right below the will top category. They might be less consistent, there might be a less better win con, whereas the will top maybe has a better win con, maybe it's more unfair. And can top is just basically just, again, part of that variance where like maybe if your bracket looks just a little bit worse, you might have a lesser time, maybe you have worse counters and all that kind of good stuff. The less likely to top are decks that are just significantly worse than the top two. Maybe they're not fully complete, or they just have some missing stuff. Maybe it's a promo, maybe we just have to wait a set, maybe they're just not that good in comparison to the other two categories, right? But they're just fun to play. So this is definitely more of the casual side. And then the Y category is basically just like, you probably just shouldn't touch this, and you guys all know what kind of decks is going to fall in here. It's gonna be like the Eugenes and all the super outdated collabs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure it's just anything that hasn't come out yet. If we have anything on this list, that's going to be thrown into there. That, or if it's a deck that I've just never touched. Java is less likely to top in my opinion, but it can top. It has had a really good matchup with Levy, but it fell off. We're about to get some more support, but we're not there yet, so it's not coming out. Overlord, this is a can top only when we get the promo. Without the promo, this is a less likely to top. So basically there's a new promo coming out. It's actually coming out at the end of this month, so it will be legal for the upcoming BCSs, and because of that, this deck gets a lot better. I do believe it's in the can top category. You'll notice we're going to hit this margin a lot with a couple decks coming up, so just FYI, it's not the first time I'm going to mention this Overlord promo. Just really that good. It's also generically good for other decks as well, so stay tuned for that. Java, this is Nirvana Java, so this is the Java. This is a Y. I think this one's a Y. This one's the less likely to top. This is the one with all the crossover draft stuff. I'm sorry, I get them confused. Anyway, that's that. And next we have this guy. I'm kind of unsure on this one. I'm just going to put him in the less likely to top. I'm sure there might be something. There has been stealth cards coming out, so maybe there's some kind of sauce with him that someone might brew. I definitely think Tomiro is a Y. Not very good anymore. It definitely is way past its curve. It could use some new help. It could use like a lot of stuff, so it's definitely just out. This is one of the guys, probably in the Y category as well. This guy, I can't remember exactly his name, but I just remember him being very okay. Sharnui is a can top deck. Even with every banlist on the planet, this deck can still top. It's still good. It's actually currently topping right now. We just had our last event where it was doing well, so it's probably going to be sticking around. This is the Dino deck. I think the Dino deck with the new support might be pretty good, but I think for now it's probably in the Y category and probably be a stay tuned. So this is the trial deck, definitely a Y category. And actually, now that I think about it, let me clear up some of the decks that were definitely on the Y category. Let me just clear those up before we move forward. I faced this deck for the first time in my life. Still don't know the name of it. There's like those 3 Dragon Empire decks I just forget the name of, and they're all just randomly there. It's not that terrible, but it's definitely definitely towards the Y category, unfortunately. It's not, it can hit for numbers, so it just can't really accumulate a hand. We have this guy right here. I think he definitely is on the Y category. We got this is Doji. I think Doji can top. I don't think it's that great anymore. I actually think it's a pretty lackluster right now, but I do think there's a world where it can top. It is a little power cracked right now, which is so crazy to say because this deck was like super meta quite literally during Divine 3, and now it's just not. But there has been some time. We had like 4 or 5 sets come out, and Bob is the thing. So Bob and Nui and all the Dragon Empire decks have been hit so many times, and yet they're still some of the best decks in the format. So that just shows just how much power crept has really happened. We have Al Calibra. I think Al Calibra is less likely to top, but but it's gotten some new cards, so there might be a chance. I'm actually gonna move this Y category. Can I like move it somehow? Can I? Eugene is definitely a Y. Varka is a probably less likely to top. I don't think that's as popular. I don't think it's bad either though, but I think there's just better Dragon Empire decks right now. Like, I'm not saying you can't bring this and do fine. I do think there's just better options right now. I think this, with the promo, specifically with the promo, is a Ken top deck. I think Gandiva gets a lot better with the new stuff. This is definitely a Y, sorry. Bob is, I think you guys all know, it's a will top. Now you might be asking like, why? It got hit like 40 billion times. It's still really good. It's still really consistent. I think people really underestimate Bob. Like, even with all the hits, I think this will still be a very, very strong deck. This is definitely the deck to beat. It's definitely the deck you're gonna see. It's just very consistent. People obviously really like Vergilla, but the issue with Vergilla is that it needs like one piece to play the game. This deck does not. It's very good going first. It's very good going second. Still has the crit pressure. Still has 5 attacks. It can still farm. Still has shield. Like, yes, it got hit a lot of times, but it's still an extremely strong deck. So be able to look out for this guy. It is definitely going to be out there. This is definitely in, as like with a top category, and then we have sorry, this is the Vergilla. I think Vergilla is a will top deck. This will probably be either win an entire regional or perform really well at the top 8, top 16, top 32. All the fun stuff. I think this deck will definitely be really presented, especially now that we have the trial deck and stuff like that. It doesn't really change much. It's actually very easy to acquire overall. Like, if you've already had a Dragon Empire deck, you basically have a Vergilla deck, because all you need to do is buy a trial deck and you're good to go. You don't need much to get this deck going. It's very easy to build, and on top of that, it's really good. It's really easy to play, and it's very strong. So it's got a lot of stuff going for it. There is some mental gymnastics you have to do, but it's nowhere near as bad as Bob. So for those people that don't want to play Bob, Vergilla is like the next best option in my opinion. There is one issue with it though, and you have to make sure you secure your Alknights. If you secure that, you're basically just set for the day. We had to keep securing it round after round after round, and that's kind of where the weaknesses of the deck come out. If you just happen to whiff, your whole deck's just offline. You just really need that grade 3. If you can't find it, you just literally can't play the game. So that's something to keep in mind while playing this deck, is like the chances of bricking. The brick is very brutal. It'll hurt you a lot, and yeah, but the high rolls and things. So that's that. We have the new Sybilt deck. I think this is a 10 top deck. I think it's actually not that bad. I think it's basically, in my opinion, the better Alcalibra deck right now. I think it has better control over like what you want to do on your turn. You do need to see some certain pieces. I'm actually going to drop into the less likely top tier now that I think about it more. I do remember testing it going, like, it's very peaceful, but once it sees its pieces, it's good to go. There's a little bit of weakness in it, but I will be honest with you, I can see a world where this deck can perform. I genuinely think it draws a lot. It's just, that's kind of all it really does, but it has really good restanding columns, really good numbers. So yeah, I just think it's better Alcalibra. So if you've ever played Alcalibra and you don't want to play anymore, this will definitely be the next deck to try out in kind of that same atmosphere. They're kind of not too far apart. My little kittens are doing something, I don't know what, and I will find out eventually. This guy we don't have yet, so I'm just going to put him in the unsure category. We have Bruce, definitely in the Y category. We have this guy, definitely in the Y category. Jet is probably less likely to top, but you'll probably see it type of thing. You have a weird one. It's a really good at rushing, and it definitely has some things that made it better. And 1 second, kittens have decided that it was a great time to take my pet. Yeah, there's a likely chance you might see this deck pop up. So some people play it. I don't think it's that great. I think it's definitely like a Saki deck. This is Rejeweled. It is gonna have some new stuff. I think it's still kind of like less likely to top. Chaos is also less likely to top. I definitely rep this deck for a very long time. I'm one of the few people that spent a lot of time on this deck, and it's good, but it's not good enough. Greedon, I think, is definitely in the Y category now. This, which apparently is an iguana. I thought it was a cat this whole time, but it's an iguana. Kind of bad. Jeweled is still kind of, I'm just throwing them on the same tier. They're all kind of the same. This Time Leap guy is kind of a Y. So the trial deck, definitely a Y. Direful Dolls probably is a Ked top deck. I think it's really pilot driven, very hard deck to play. You really need to play it like super masterfully. I think the list matters, but it's actually not a bad deck. I actually think this deck has some room to play. I will say I don't think the Levy matchup is very fun. Something to keep in mind. I think Lukier isn't too bad, but probably a less likely deck to top. It's very hard to play, not people know it, and it's like you have to be really very analytical about your plays. I think this the glass deck is pretty okay. I think it's definitely power driven, and it's driven on your bracket. I think it matters a lot what you see, what you don't see. That'll trigger how this deck functions. It does beat Estion if I remember correctly, because it actually removes the token, so that's a good matchup to that. But I will say I think it still has some rough edges, but you can play the deck loop with this deck and just deck people out. I don't think it's that great, but I don't think it's bad either. I think it's definitely better than people give it credit for, but I definitely think it's like very meta dependent, so that's why I'm putting it a little bit lower. I think this deck is poo-poo. I think this deck is poo-poo. I used to kind of respect this deck more. I'm starting to respect it less and less. I think this deck is less likely to top, but it's definitely kind of itching closer to the Ken top than the rest of these. I'm actually kind of, I'll probably just put it in here. I don't think this deck is that great anymore. I definitely think playing Vergilla into this like feels very free, like, or buff. It just feels too easy. They really don't like their board getting touched, and like both these decks touch board. Yeah, there's just a lot of issues. So I'm gonna put it down here. I'm like 95% sure someone's gonna take it because it's a very popular pick. Like, people just like Odium, so chances are someone is gonna take it and probably do decent on it. I just don't think it's that great right now. Befneal is just definitely in the Y category. Estrella has chances, but I'm definitely putting her in the. I might be cruel for this. I'm putting her in here. This, do we have this? Is this? I don't know. I don't remember what this is. Like, it's not Heroes. Oh, this is Heroes. I'm gonna put it, and I'm actually gonna put it on Shore for now. I think this is Heroes. I think this is the new Heroes. Blang, it's actually not bad. I think before Buddy Fight meta comes out, this deck will probably be here, and I think once Buddy Fight meta comes out, it'll probably be here. So we're gonna put it up here. I think there's still hope for it. It's still really good. Like, it's still like an extremely unfair deck, like when it hits all its conditions perfectly. It's just a little like awkward to use. I definitely think Heartloo is like a will top deck. It's really annoying to play against, and it can be sacky. I do think it's a little bit of a fraud sometimes. Specifically, it kind of reminds me of Odium a little bit, where there's sometimes where things just don't go like you just don't do anything. Like, you just have your 5 attacks and that's it, and your opponent just wins, like, because you're not doing much. You're just deck thinning, and if you just don't hit triggers, you just kind of lose. That's like the biggest weakness of the deck. But the upsides is when you do hit triggers, the deck really rewards you for it. So it's like, it's also extremely consistent. You're never really gonna sit there and go, oh my god, like, not everything went wrong. Like, it's possible you can whip all your stuff, but because you constantly call from soul every turn, kind of similar to this deck. Actually, I think these two decks are very similar, but because you're constantly calling from soul, you don't really need a hand to play the game. You can guard more efficiently, and I think that's what makes the deck more powerful. I don't think people like really understand how important it is, the fact that you get to call 3 cards for just energy. Like, you don't have to actually use your counter blast or your soul for it. You just energy blast and you call a bunch of dudes. Very important, because a lot of decks can't do that. That's actually the reason why Dochi was so good, because Dochi just energy blast to gets its cards out, and you don't have to use your hand all the time, which means your hand stays more healthy. You can play the game with like 1-card hands. I think that's very, very powerful, and I think that's part of the reason why this deck's up here, is just because of how consistent and good it is at what it likes to do. Obviously, the guard strict and the crit just kind of adds on to it. I will say going second to this deck feels miserable sometimes. Like, it's not the most fun experience, but it is what it is. But I do think this deck, because of that, is really good. I think that's what keeps it up here. I think if it had less of that, like if skill was like a counter blast, I think this deck would instantly fall down a tier. I will say the other thing I like about this is the mirror. It's kind of like a Levijo's mirror. Like, everyone's basically playing the same list with like 2 to 3 maximum 5-card difference. So because of that, your mirrors are going to suck. You can definitely tech cards in. There's actually a bunch of cards in Dark States you can tech in to kind of help you out, but it doesn't make the matchup any more tolerable. It's still a very miserable matchup. But you can definitely go to Levy route, where you can like tech in cards to kind of help you beat the mirror, but it's still not a very fun experience in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I'm going to put Jeweled in here with all the other Jeweleds. Is this is the new Time Leap guy. I think this is Unsure. There's just too many ride lines. MOB, poo-poo, BBO, poo-poo, this deck, poo-poo, this deck, poo-poo. I think this is bad, but it gets better. I think this one is less likely to top, but it depends on the build you're on. If you're on the hostage build and you're trying to win through deck out, there's a chance, because you can definitely deck this deck out, like guaranteed. You can deck out this or make it lose this win con. This one might be a little bit tougher. So I think depending on the build you're on, you have a chance with this one. This is definitely a no. I hate the fact to put this guy there, but he's just so bad. We don't have this yet. I think it's a new Wild that's there. This is the Trial deck. This is the old Wild. This is Medallion. I think Medallion's unlikely to top. It's not bad. I think this deck's actually decent, but it definitely still has a lot of weaknesses that are holding it back. I think Alden's like terrible. I don't know. Some people might disagree with me. I don't think Raziel is that great right now, but it's probably in the less likely to top tier instead of just dunking it all the way to the ground. I don't know too much about this one. I'm just gonna put in the Y category along with this guy. This one's less likely to top. Put this down here. Youthberg is like kind of like a high roll machine. It probably will have a top or two, but nothing crazy. Alden, this deck really needs its promo like terribly. Ezel is less likely to top. I don't think this deck's that bad. I just don't think it's that great either. I think in a regional environment it's bad, but a casual like Vanguard locals tournament, it's really fun to play. Minerva is a Ken top deck. I'm not putting it all the way at the top though. I don't think this deck is as good as people say it is. It's not bad, and it might be like a pilot thing too. I will say, going into a going second deck, like, it's really hard. And then on top of that, this deck just really is peaceful wide. I think it really is the promo. I think with the promo might go up, but for the time being, it's definitely a cat top deck. It's definitely one of the better decks up here for sure. But I don't. It's not as powerful as these three. I just think these three like are just significantly stronger than whatever Minerva's doing, in my personal opinion. That's just how I feel personally. People might feel differently. It's just my personal thing on it. Oh, this is wild. What the hell did that put over in the Y tier? There was something else in the Y tier. I don't remember what it was. I put something in the Y tier. I can't even find it anymore. It's just gone. I put something in the Y tier that I guess I didn't know what it was. I don't know. Anyway, free in, we don't have this. This just came out. Prison is less likely to top, but it can happen. Bats can top. I think it's just a high roll top. Like, you can definitely high roll and win the game with this guy. He's still good. I've been saying it since the ban list. Actually, like literally the day of the ban list, I posted my video and I was like, hey, this deck's not bad. And as you can tell by the results, it's not bad. So it's just way more sacky now, but they can do it. I think Messiah is still kind of like, eh. I think it's a very eh. I think it's a retire match is really awful. I think this deck is horrendous. I'm sorry. I miss this deck so much, but it's not that good. This probably will top. People just really like this deck. Like I don't even think it's that great. People just love it. Maybe I have a different like perception of like what is good. I just feel like this deck takes a while to like really, you know, turn online. Like, and then it also has a terrible matchup into Vergilla, which doesn't help it at all. It has a decent matchup in the Bob, but I think everything else is kind of rough. And it's also like Heart Ruler is like a combination of like a deck thinning machine and Ava combined. Like this Heart Ruler just does whatever Ava wants to do kind of thing. Because they both kind of have that same concept of like deck thinning a bunch of cards, having the pressure, but no real like, but I think this one has the card pressure and this one doesn't, but this one has like the trigger stuff, but this one has one drive, so one extra drive does make a big difference. But yeah, I think it's because of how popular it is, people are still gonna be playing this though. We are also getting the Teofelt clone at some given point, which I think will make this deck better. So I do think there are things that will change about this deck as the season goes, so it'll probably get up there. This is why, unfortunately, I love this deck, but it's definitely a why. I think we're gonna see people taking Orphist, either version. I think Orphis is definitely less likely deck to top, but it's not bad. I don't think it's like a terrible deck. I definitely think it's more of a casual kind of deck and not definitely a serious deck, but the numbers can be hit pretty hard. It's got its moments, so I definitely think that one can have a chance. Gravidia is like the definition of why, God, I wish this deck was good. It gets so much support. It is crazy how much Northerlinger support they give to this deck, and it just can't do anything. It's just bad. I think Velstra's in the Y category now. I think someone like last time I made this was like, why? Why'd you put that there? It's like, who's playing this? And it, like, aside from like, you know, people that just genuinely love the deck, but who's playing this and like actually, you know, trying to win? Like it doesn't do much. Unfortunately, right now it's in a very weak spot. I think that Yusha is less likely to top, but has a chance. I had a little bit more thoughts on this deck. I thought there was a world where this deck could perform more, but it feels kind of the same, just slightly better, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm on like these three right now. Like I've literally only been playing these three right here, aside from like casually just messing around with some decks here and there, but like you know, Direful Doll. But anyway, I've been on these three. On these three, a lot of these decks down here feel a lot weaker because of that. I feel like if I was maybe playing like Luard or Prison or Orphis, like I don't know, maybe get Diva, Doji, maybe if I'd be playing some of these decks, I'd probably have like a different opinion. I think that's why my opinion's so harsh, because those decks are just really powerful. I think El Padillo has a chance. This guy will get support, so he's less likely to top, but he'll probably move over to the top end category. I'll put him up there. This is the hero deck, so I have no idea what the other deck is. This is less likely to top, but I think the right pilot can definitely make that deck work. It's just hard to play. This is definitely a Y. This is a collab. This is New Prison. We don't have that yet. Flagberg is definitely a Y, unfortunately. So is this guy. Leonor is definitely a Ken top deck. I don't think it's that great, but other people will disagree with me, so I'm putting it up here. It has been showing results. I can't deny the results if they're there, just like Ava. So moving on with my life. Claudine actually I think has some room, but we just lost Nectar in the drive +1, so maybe my opinion will change. This is definitely sadly a Y. This is definitely just like a like funsy deck. I don't think Magnolia is that good. Even under like the same good palette, I think this Magnolia is really weak right now. This is the other Leonor. We're gonna throw it up here because there's like the two different versions, whichever one you want. I think they both kind of do essentially the same thing. One's just like going second deck, one's like going first deck. Both just kind of do this thing where they slam face and try to kill as fast as possible. This guy just got completely neutered because of freaking Nectar being gone. I think this deck's very okay. I'm gonna put it here. I think losing Nectar actually hurt the deck a lot. I think this deck could have actually been a deck. We didn't lose Nectar. Zorga is probably up here too. I actually don't think this deck's very good right now. I'm just putting it here because I know someone's gonna take it. Like I know it's gonna be one person. I think this deck's bad. Rose is gonna be on the, I think Rose is a Ken top deck. I think it still performs well. It's just really hard to pilot this deck. It's a very hard deck to play. Levy is also in the Ken top category. I think it's still really good. I think people underestimate it a little bit. I think it's still very strong. Roa is in the Y, Maelstrom's in the Y. Our Arco Sirens might go up. It gets new support that makes a decent thing for now. Go put in the Y, but it probably doesn't belong there. Magnolia definitely in the Y. Estion is definitely a Ken top deck. I think this deck's very powerful. I just think it's better than Minerva. Like if I was trying to pick between, if I was trying to pick anything in this category, it would probably be like this deck or like Quagmire or something. But that's for me, of course. I don't think I play every single deck here. It's like if I or like every single day, obviously. All decks I play, the most I play is the Estion deck and the Quagmire deck. So I'd probably be like more inching towards those, right? But by you, I forgot about you. We don't have this yet. We don't have this yet. You're not too great. You're not too great. You're not too great. You're not too great. You're pretty decent, but you're like, well, it's like at the top decent. It's just Marlene, which is actually not that bad. It's very hard to play. It's definitely more of a casual deck, but it's not terrible. I think Ballista is like kind of like in between less likely to top and a Y. I don't think this deck's that good, but I'm just gonna put it right there. This is definitely a Y. Unfortunately, as much as I like all these decks, I think Fennel will go up with new stuff. I think right now she's sadly in the Y category. I want to put her in the less likely to top, but like you'd have to assume that you're not gonna face a single love interest person. I will say there's one thing about Fennel that's keeping it alive right now is a lot of decks kind of actually want to go second, and she really thrives off of going first, but you still need to deal with like, you know, Heartluru and a couple other decks that want to go first. Like there's still a lot of going first decks. There's just a little bit more going second decks this format. So because of that, she might shine because of that, because she really wants to go first. She like really thrives off of going first. Really good deck going first. So that's pretty good. I think it's a less likely to top, but I think we might still see results kind of like in between the Ken top and less likely to top category. Sienna is pretty bad. Same with you. Your Labrador, people will probably put her in the less likely to top tier. I'm gonna put her here. Actually, I will put her here. I'll put her in the less likely to top category. I don't think this deck's that bad. I just don't think it's that great. I'm being a little generous. I don't think Chris Ray's that good. I think Flam G is decent, but definitely in the less likely to top tier. I think the shield's not that great. This is the vanilla deck. It's okay. Medio's okay. Giant Girl's okay. Bunny Girl's okay. I thought this deck had some room for like, you know, playability. It does not. Yoka is also going in here. This is going in here. This is going in here. This is definitely going here. I just recently built this back up. As fun as I'm enjoying the right land and everything, the deck's still so bad. Verd is rough. This deck's okay. I think it's not that great on its own though. This deck I think is very okay, but it will probably see play, and then also it is getting new support that makes it a little bit better coming up. Kyrie is a Ken top deck. Let me get her up here. So she's a Ken top deck. It's been the same deck. It just does what it does really well. It's very consistent what it does. This is the new stuff. So this is the unsure. Mygo. So the old one, no, but the new one, yes. I think the new one is extremely underrated right now. I think this deck's actually really freaking good. There has been parts of me that is so tempted to take it for like the BCS that's coming up like literally in like a day and a half. It's not even funny. Like I have just been really having fun with this deck, but I know it's a bad idea. I really want to take it because it's so consistent. It's just so good at what it does, and people just like forgot how to play into it. So I have like this temptation to just like take it because of just how much fun I enjoy playing this deck. But I'm thinking about maybe there's like a part of me wants to take it for this regional, maybe like take something else for another regional, but I'm going to very little regionals this year, so I feel like I have to kind of maximize on like my chances of doing well. So because of that, I'm choosing not to take it, but I really think this deck's good. I actually just won. It was a teams event, but I did just win an event, and I think the person put it really well, saying the deck's actually really good. I think the pilot matters a lot. This deck's super hard to play, but I think it's really strong. I think the deck thinning is like absolutely insane. Like this deck can be really unfair. So yeah, I think very underestimated deck. I'm putting it a little bit higher, like up here. This is like this is probably my cope take of the video. I always have one deck that I just like put higher than like other people would. I think Mygo is definitely my deck for this video. We have the lock deck. I think this lock deck is less likely to top, but it's actually not terrible. I think if you play that extra package of like the grade 1 like package instead of like the regular package, I think it draws better, so it makes the deck a little bit better. It's actually not terrible. I think the deck can perform. These are all going the Y. This is the other rewinder, not the good rewinder. This is the other black. This is the Marween. We don't have this yet. Actually, really, I'm excited for this if we ever get it. I think black is less likely to top, but this is the grade 4 variant. I don't think it's terrible. It's a very, very aggressive going second. It's just your hand like depletes like crazy, so it kind of struggles there. But it's actually not that bad. I think Rewinder is also pretty good. I actually think this deck's really underrated, and though some people have been repping it, like trying their best to show off the greatness of this deck, it's actually one of the funnest decks in the game right now. It is like the definition of a Vanguard deck. It plays like a Vanguard deck. It's so fun. Like it's just, I love this deck. I can talk about it all day and night. I'm putting tree in the Y category and the other tree in the Y category. Unfortunately, I think the tree decks are just not that great. The new tree is really good, like good in terms of it's really good at what it does and it's really consistent. The issue is like we lost a bunch of tools, especially for Sakam. I think the Dragon Empire version of this is actually not bad, especially when we get the new order. You can play the new order, you can play the restanders, and you can kind of deck filter a little bit more and draw more cards and all that kind of good stuff. I actually think that variant isn't terrible. I think people underestimate it. So there is that variant. I actually don't think it's bad. So I'm gonna put it up here. I kind of think it was a little too mean to it, so I'll put it here. I think there's a chance it might perform, but no one's gonna be on it, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll cope on it or something like that, but no one else is gonna be on it. So, but I actually don't think it's bad. Okay, that's basically everything. So let me move these two around again. So obviously I think it's very obvious what the top 3 are going to be. I think everyone can kind of agree right now that these are the top 3. Some people might put this deck here, and I don't disagree with that, but I'm going to put it up here just because of how the deck works. I think these are the best 3 decks you can take right now. Just be aware you're going to face a lot of mirrors, but there's going to be a lot of these, like all 3 of them. You're going to be seeing this probably maybe 3-4 of your rounds, especially if you're trying to go for all 7. If you're trying to top, you're definitely going to see in your top cut. It's less likely that you're not going to see it, right? And then the can't top, you're likely going to see all these. I think the only one you might not see is this one, the very, very unusual one here. This one as well might not be as popular, and then this one until we get the promo might mean along with this one. So let me move this around a little bit just so it's more obvious like what the main ones are. But they're in no particular order in terms of strength. I think they're all really good in their own way. Like I said, this one, and hopefully people actually hear what I'm saying here. This one in particular, along with this one, really need their promo. Without the promo, these decks are way worse. They are definitely not good without the promo, so just like keep in mind. I will say the Buddy Fight decks are pretty good. I think people really underestimate these decks. Definitely, they're a little bit harder to build. They are starting to become more popular in Japan. Like there's more people starting to play them. So I'm definitely starting to see the light. Like not me see the light, sorry, I've been seeing the light. Other people are starting to see the light of what these decks are capable of. They're pretty good. I would highly recommend you knowing what they do because they're coming out kind of soon-ish. They're definitely gonna be during BCS meta. So you're gonna want to like at least touch up on what they do because they are, and you do need a good pilot. You need someone that actually knows how to play the deck to show you what's capable of because the decks are not bad. Like I said, not all of them, of course. Some of them are really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tier maker thing. People usually really like these. Hopefully it's informative and hopefully it helped you kind of figure out what your deck choice is. And as you're watching this, I'm probably already at Chicago. So if you're watching this, feel free to say hi to me. I'll be there the whole weekend. I'm actually taking an extra day. It wasn't really intentional, it just kind of happened that way. So I'll be there an extra day as well. So I'm really excited for that. On that, guys, as always, 50cards.shop, code orange if you need new goodies, and then also BCW supplies, code orange 10 if you want to see yourself some money there. Both are very good places to shop. You can use my codes orange and orange 10 to save yourself some money. On that, guys, peace out. That's Vidania. See you guys in a future video. Bye 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 bye. Hello, baby boy. Hello. Oh, you just love the shoulder, don't you? Yeah, you love this shoulder. You're just a little baby boy. You're just so very excited. Look at this little guy. He'll just chill here. He sometimes sleeps here. He's getting a little too big now to sleep on my shoulder, but he actually loves sleeping on my shoulder. Yeah, you're just a little boy. Yeah, his brother is by my feet currently playing around. So yeah, little baby boy. Yeah, you're such a cutie. You're such a cutie.